Hey guys, Anthony, 4x4 Diesel. This is another video that could save you thousands, so stay tuned. What do you reckon the problem is here? You see that? See that? See that? See that? I don't even like doing it, but R&D vehicle, and we're going to show you what happens. Okay, this is what we see. We've been seeing it for years. We've talked about it before. It's just something you need to be careful of. It's not a problem with a vehicle. It's a problem with the way people use the vehicle, okay? You can see when you open the door, look, the doors are not that heavy, okay? The wheel and the tire on the door adds a lot of weight. So, you could say that's a major contributor, the weight of the wheel and tyre on the door, adding to the problem. But I can tell you, even without the wheel or tyre, if you slam the door open or shut, so the problem you got is sometimes when you park on a hill, on an angle, sideways, you know, maybe a steep street where you've got angled parking, the right hand side's down, you open the door, you let it go, and it goes bang like that. Not good, okay? So I'll try and describe from up here what happens and what's going to happen. And if it doesn't work out, then we'll move down underneath the vehicle and have a look at it. So you can see you got that strap there, and it's connected firmly to the vehicle at that end. Underneath at this side, there's another section that it slides in, right? You can see that movement, right? Sliding, and there's obviously an end to it. And it's a pretty good design because really let's get in a bit closer. Wow, this is upside down view. I don't think we've done this one before. Upside down view. Usually when we look under something, it's up on the hoist. Right? Anyway, upside down view to the hinge. The slide, right? Just so you can see what's happening, right? Right, it travels as the door closes, goes all the way. Right? Now, first question you got is, do we lube that? Well, good question. That is a really good question. Why? Well, you see all the dust and dirt in there? That's why it's a good question. It mainly gets lubricated by dust and dirt. This one's done about 400,000 Ks like many others have, and quite successful without any lubrication, because once you do put spray grease, CRC, whatever, the dust just sticks to it. So your best bet there is to just clean it, regular cleaning. So when you come home and you're cleaning the vehicle after a touring trip, don't forget, with the door open, with your pressure washer from this direction back here, so it doesn't spray in the vehicle from the vehicle side, whoosh, spraying it out that way is my recommendation. Keep it clean, okay? Keep it clean. While you're around town, if you want to put some CRC on it, or so, that's just going to dry up. If you want to put some spray grease, look, let's have a look at the wear in just under 400,000 Ks. You can see it does wear. But there's nothing wrong with how it works, so there's no need to really change anything. There's no need to even replace it yet, and I reckon that's pretty good in 400,000 Ks of opening and closing. The problem we have is that we've seen for probably, you know, about a decade now, maybe long, give or take, is the seam of the door where it can get ripped open along here, right? So there's like a join there, and as good as the design is, you can see what's happening. It's not pulling out from the door. So, see the way it is set up there, it can take quite a bit before it's going to damage anything, right? Because it's pulling, you know, this is kind of pulling that way, it's pulling this, which has got quite a lot of mounting area. We're talking about 300mm by estimation, pulling that way. So it's not actually pulling the door apart, but I can tell you, it's only for people that have mistreated the door. I can tell you that categorically, simply because when we see hundreds or thousands of them like this without a problem, and this one's been let go, it's been shut with things in the door, not us, previous owners, right? That's the other thing you got to watch, because that'll affect your seal once that gets pressed in too much, right? It's been mistreated, absolutely. Not since we've owned it. Maybe it's been let go by accident a couple of times. And this is the thing, you can get away with a few times here or there. You can get away with a certain amount, and you can get away with a lot because they're Toyotas, right? But if you slam this open hard enough, eventually what happens is, and we've seen it, not much, but that seam along, it starts here and it gets worse. So I don't know where your damage or your crack is, but that's the deal, guys. You know, you've got a heavy door there. This is how it works. It's not a bad setup. It's not a problem. It's very awesome, like the rest of the Toyota thing, but it's something that you need to avoid. You need to let all the drivers, operators of the vehicle know that. Show them this video. Send them this video. Send your wife or your husband or your son or daughter, whoever borrows the car, send them this video so that they understand, and tell them watch the whole bloody thing. It's not just me telling you this. It's this Anthony guy, you know. He's quite annoying with his information. But anyway, only the smart people are watching. Only those people, the people that did the study, the people that are still doing the study to get themselves educated to understand these things. And I'm sure a lot of you already knew this already. But a lot of people didn't, and they didn't think about it, and it's going to be the usual thanks, and this is the best channel, and this is why, and all that, right? 2 YouTube channels, guys, 4x4 Diesel and 4x4 Touring Australia. If you're not on both, you're missing out on quite a bit of information there, and it's just going to get better. So I think we've pretty well covered that. Let's go back up top and mention if there's anything else you can do to help avoid any damage on these doors. We'll get up off the floor. So what I always do, well not always, if it's flat ground I might just open the door gently to there. Always be gentle as possible because you can. And with the 120s there's a little lock system, which the positive is that is it's as simple as that. It's really easy. You don't have to think which way to lock it, unlock it. It's simple as just, you know, pulled it and pushed to lock, right? So I do like that system. Of course the 150s improved. Let's go and have a look at that. Alright, so the 150s are a little bit different, and I suppose this is where it's improved, right? It's got a, what you would call like a gas strut on it, you know, made in Germany. And like, I'm not even touching the door now. I'm back here. Look at it. It's slowly opening the rest of the way. Look at that. Beautiful. Now, of course, that's going to vary. Now, I'm bringing the door shut now. You can leave it about halfway. You can twist to lock that, but it takes a few more seconds because you may have to stop and think which way to turn it to lock it. And then, of course, you might forget you've locked it, or the kids come along and they're pushing it and pulling it, what's wrong, or the missus or the husband or whoever it is that doesn't understand how it works, which is why I keep saying send the video to everybody and sit down with the family and make them watch it, because it's important to look after your door. And this door can get damaged just the same or worse than the 120. So the control situation's good, right? So it comes in, no worries. From there, it'll close itself slowly, but we're not going to worry about that. Opening it up, leave it about there, it stops. We'll go a little bit, I've let it go now, I'm not touching it. Okay, so it's stopped, I'll give it another little push. Look, it's going to go all the way. So, you know, made in Germany. How good's that? That's quality, right? So, really simple to just, you know, bang, use that to twist and lock it in position. But, and we haven't seen any issues yet, personally. So what we want to see in the comments, have you had issues with a 150 rear door? Let's go underneath and have a look at the differences and the way it's pulling on the door. Rightio, so I'm back on the deck again. And you can see there's no problem with the end that's connected to the vehicle. I haven't seen an issue there. These struts, if you ram them open all the time, it could do some damage, but we haven't seen it yet. But there's got to be someone that's had some issues. But look at the mounting area, and I'm not saying it's a problem, but it's a much smaller piece of steel compared to the 120, okay? And it looks like it may be reinforcing. Behind there you can see some spot welds and stuff like that. And because of the length of it, it looks to me as though it's pulling even more directly, rather than pulling away from the seam, if you know what I mean, this way, it's pulling that way, like the 120. So don't be confused thinking it's pulling the door material away from the skin there where it joins up, because it's not. But if you ram it open hard enough, and I'd suggest that with the 150, it's harder to make the mistake because of this gas strut being in place, so it's a good idea, okay? It's an upgrade, okay? Even though it's slightly negative, I'll say, it's a little bit harder to use, you know, the twist it this way, twist it. I just prefer the flick of the 120, but that's a personal choice and what you're used to. And I suppose that's why it needs only a smaller mounting area, and there's probably enough strength there at the end of the day, because, you know, but if you, I hope you understand, you can still push this one open really hard and you could damage that trim there. So in the comments, if anyone has had this issue on a 150, please let us know. Bada bing, we're done, guys. We're out here. Hopefully that helps save you some damage, just save you the hassle, something to think about. It's not a hard thing to manage, and understand you need to take a bit of care with some things like this. If you got something like that, please remember to give us a thumbs up, you know, hit that like button, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Turn the bell on so you get the notification and you don't miss the next important bit of info. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm out of here. See ya.